All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna sit right here. All right, Granddaddy. I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Then you just respond to them.
As best as I can, huh?
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, these questions, these are gonna establish like a little background about you, and then you just give your opinion on it. The first question was, what was it like being a kid in the 50s?
Well, being a kid in the 50s was like I was born in 44, and it was just things that we didn't know because I grew up on a farm, and all we did was farm and go to school and play, and what else? Okay. Have I messed up yet?
No, it's alright. It's alright.
Is it still running?
Yeah, it's still going.
Oh.
Wait, man, you said going to school. What did you like about it? I mean, like, was it funner compared to? You think your childhood was better than kids today?
Well, I think my childhood was better than what they are today because everything was simple. We enjoyed ourselves. We had fun, but we didn't have a whole lot, and we appreciated everything that we got. And you had to do your job during that time. And it's I think it made me a better person. That's why I'm 73 now, I think.
Did you as a kid, did you experience racism or anything like that?
As a kid, if I did, I don't know from where I live because I grew up in an all black town, a little small town, and maybe I didn't know any better. But like I got on the bus, went to the back, I went to town, Muskogee, Oklahoma, that's where it was. I lived out a little, away from a little town, about 7 miles from Muskogee, Oklahoma. And we would go to the show, all black show. Well, everything was black and white then, but it really didn't bother me because I didn't know no better. You know, I haven't learned that, you know. And I thought it was all wrong, you know. Well, I was happy about it, you know, because I didn't know any better, you know. And, you know, there was no white people that mistreated me that I know, you know. That's just about the way it was, you know, in the 50s, you know. And I just didn't know. I guess I knew my boundaries, you know.
Mm-hmm. How was it, let's see, now another question, what was your family like at your house? Describe like a typical day in your household.
When I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. When you were a kid? Mm-hmm. Or a teenager, just a typical day.
Okay. I would say a typical day, depending, we would go to school, we come home, and everybody would sit down at the table and eat together. At a certain time, we're supposed to go eat, you know, and so we would sit there and eat together, and sometimes we would talk, and sometimes someone would tell a story. And, you know, just like in the winter time, we didn't have any electric lights. This was in the 50s. We didn't have no electric lights. And we didn't have no gas stove either. In the wintertime, we just sit around and look at, listen to the radio. Sit around an old big wood stove, coal stove, and eat peanuts and popcorn and baked sweet potato. And we would look at, not look, but we would listen to the radio, like ghost stories, Moby Dick Tracy, and all like that. And it was a lot of fun to me because I had enough brothers and sisters that I don't need to go. Well, I didn't really need to go play with anybody else. It was a house full. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Why did you join the military?
I didn't. I got drafted. Yeah, and like I started to go to the military as soon as I graduated from high school, but I think I was 23 or 22 or something like that when I got drafted.
How did you feel about the draft? I know a lot of people, because at the time you had people that was getting drafted that they couldn't even vote, because they were so young, and a lot of people didn't agree with what was going on in Vietnam or whatever. How did you feel about it?
Well, I didn't learn. I didn't want to get drafted because, for one reason, I was older. I had got out. I was out of high school and I lived here and lived there, and I had a job. With General Motors, and so they drafted me. And other than that, I wasn't scared or anything like that, But I still didn't want to get drafted.
And how would you describe your experience over there with the war, or like kind of living through that period of time in your life, and what you've seen, the kind of things you've seen there?
Well, I seen a lot of terrible things, people getting killed, and I got hit in the leg, like shrapnel from a rocket, the mortars and rockets. And see, just the thing right today, I can't call anybody's name that was in Vietnam. I can't call a company commander's name. I can't call first sergeant's name. Nobody's name that I can call. And sometimes that bothers me, I see, well, but then vice versa, like basic training, I can call a lot of people's names, but I can't call any of their names. And I really didn't realize it until I got out that I might not have went, if I'd known what I knew. And see, basically, I just think about we were just kids.
And see, that was the thing.
And there was 100 people in 100 men in my company, and they called me old man because I was 24, and everybody else, I think it was two guys, one was 20 and a couple guys 19, and most of them was 18 and 19. And see, I guess the older you get, you learn something every day. I don't care what it is, you learn something every day, and you look at stuff different. And when I come out of Vietnam, we were stepped on. It was just we were nothing. that's how we were treated. You know, some even when I had my uniform on, and that was they called us baby killers. Get out of that uniform, you know. Some people did. Mm-hmm.
Now, once you didn't know about, why you were going at first, but once you learned why you were there, and you came back, do you think that the war was justified or necessary, or do you think?
I don't think it was necessary or justified either, because I just think it was just a politician thing, politic thing. Just like, because I had read somewhere that the war wasn't supposed to be started. I don't remember what book or what I read it from. It was that it's during President Johnson, I believe, his second term, and there was something happened in the sea over there, close to one of the ships in Vietnam, Vietnam waters, because, we wasn't at the war, we were just over there.
You're supposed to be assisting.
Mm-hmm. And they said that someone, they had shot at us, because some explosion blew up in the water. And so, kind of found out it wasn't nothing like that. Since it was always, since that story was already in the air, President Johnson advisor told him, says, go hit the Vietnam, just say you're going to get them and get them and get them. We ain't going to let them get away with nothing. And so that it'll be that you can win the election if you do that. Because you have a whole lot of people behind him, because he was going to go and do it, See, it's just like Bush. That's how I look at it, Like Bush, that's how he got his second term, because he was going to go get Hussein. And so, like the war, it was something else. Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see, so, but during that, how do you feel, how was it once you came back, like once you went over there and experienced and seen the other country and the culture and how the people were living? Because I remember you were saying, like, it wasn't necessarily all bad, because it was that sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
everybody be together, the people you be fighting, you be partying together. And then,
well, okay. Well, that's what they would say, but like we didn't know who was who.
yeah.
Talk to you in the daytime and the night hit you. Mm-hmm. But after I come back, see, because, you can go through stuff, and then you realize what you went through, and then you look at all the points and everything. Why did I have to do that? Because it just seemed unnecessary.
And see, they, I would say, how do you, let's switch gears for a second. Now, considering that, when you come back, you're still working at General Motors.
Yeah.
Now, how do you think, how do you feel about the impact that unions were having on, like, the working man, at that time when you came back? Because, before, you started working there, they wouldn't let, minorities or women be part of unions. So how did you feel when it all changed and you...
Oh, okay now. They had, when I started working, because I hadn't been there no more than 3 months, and the union, just like you said, minority Well, see, I don't know when they changed that. They changed that before I came, you know, because when I got hired there, well, I was in the union, and you know, minorities, you know, if they hired you, you would be in the union if you wanted to be. Anybody that they hired at that time when I came in, but I just heard stories before, you know, before I came back in the 50s about that. You know, some of the older guys that was there, because they told me that it was just like, it was one year, because black people, minorities always, they didn't work on cars at first, in the 40s, 50s, and somewhere like that. And they was only janitors. They couldn't work on the cars. So I don't know exactly when they changed it.
And how do you think it impacted you? Like once you started becoming more active and you got some seniority in your belt and you really understood like what a union was and you being part of a union, how did that affect the way you felt about your job?
Well, once I got in the union, well, I liked it a whole lot better. But you know, you had to work. I mean, the union don't keep you from going to work. You know, yeah. I mean, and well, they protected your jobs. You know, like if you were in the union and then if they have a layoff and you got the time to stay, you can stay. You know, without the union, they just pick people, you know. That's what I liked about the union. And, but also, everything's good. It's got a flip side to it. You know, it works another way. But overall, if I went back to work now, I wouldn't want to work without a union.
And how did you feel about you know, the big thing that's always been there was a wage gap in between, you know, what the cost of living actually is, what it takes to actually live, and what companies were willing to pay, like to be a fair wage. How did you feel? Did you feel like you guys were paid a fair wage back then, or what was the experience about that? Did it support your way of living back then?
Yes, it did. Because, you know, without being a doctor or a lawyer and stuff like that, I think they would, as I look back, that was the best company I could have. You know, I'm glad I worked there.
Oh, it's okay. And what local were you a member of?
Local 31. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Now, also too, like I know, speaking from your experience with unions, how do you think overall, like back during that time period, do you think it was like the same pretty much for people in other industries, like say like the railroad, or people you knew that were members of unions?
Well, I think they is pretty well similar to most everybody else, you know.
Let's see. Do you think that race relations have improved during your lifetime?
Yes, it has. In one way, you know, they're just not hanging us, you know, or beating us, you know, but it's just so many laws that we don't know nothing about, and I mean, you have to almost look at everything. To me, that's the way I feel. You have to look at anything you do. You have to look at it real good. You know, if it's something like even finance, getting finance, buying a house, buying a car, getting a job. See, that's where they're getting us now. You know, I mean, this is the prejudice for it. You know, but you know, nobody not gonna just run out and call your names like it, you know, or just say anything or do anything to you now. You know, but right now, you know, during this time, but there's still a lot of prejudice there. You know, just like the police and all like that. You know, and you know.
And I know you lived in different places. Like, how was the situation, like the racial situation versus you living from one place to another? Was it different depending on where you lived, or was it pretty much the same feeling no matter where you were at?
Okay, well, okay. I would say I know it had to be Oklahoma. You know, I think Oklahoma was more prejudiced than here, to me. And I know that, and it's like Kansas City, I would come here, you know, sometime through the summer, and I know they was prejudiced here. You know, well, you know, if you go downtown to get you something to eat, you go to one of the big stores, you know, where they sell food and hot dogs and stuff like that. I remember when I was about 15 or 16, I had I think the name of the store was named Christie's, and they had a bar along this wall, just a stand-up bar along this wall, and tables over here, and the black people had to stand at the table, you know, and the white people get the chairs to sit down and eat. When you go down to the stockyard, you had to go in the back of the restaurant to get your meal. And so I don't know if it's true or not, but they would say, well, those are scraps. You know, you should buy your dinner, but there's the scraps. I said, so I don't know, but it was good. I didn't know
no better.
I thought I was, you know, oh, we went down there to so and so, you know, this place, you know.
Unless you cooked in the kitchen, you wouldn't know.
I'm talking about. I thought that was real good, you know. You can go in the back of the building and get it, you know, because the boundaries, hey, everybody got boundaries. Yeah, they have boundaries. And they got boundaries and don't even know they have boundaries. You know, it's like, yeah, just like my wife, she grew up here. And I asked her, I said, well, did you ever go somewhere past 39th Street when you was growing up? She said, no. I said, well, why not? I don't know. I'm talking this was when she was grown. She still don't know why she didn't go across 39th. I said, well, that's the boundary. I mean, you have a boundary, but you know, well, other black people don't go, so you don't go. And see, that's where it all came about, the boundaries. You know?
So even with like segregation in places,
yeah,
people just naturally segregated themselves also.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, describe your feelings about participating in the election of Barack Obama.
Participating.
Mm-hmm. In the election of Barack Obama, how did you feel about that?
Well, I feel real good about it. Yeah. And I like the way he talked. You know, he speak. You know, and things that he said. He gonna try to do it, and I don't know. I mean, there's just so many things, you know, that I would like it. I enjoyed watching, you know, because I looked at almost everything, you know, everything, you know, that they was having, you know, doing going up to the president.
See, I know you said history is your favorite topic. You know, you love history, and see, like, what about his presidency seemed different from other presidencies and other elections to you?
Well, you know, since he was a black man too, the first, you know, to run, you know, to be president, and I was behind him all the way too, you know, because just like I said, boundary, and see, now, president for, you know, one of my kids, my grandkids might be president since Barack made that boundary, you know.
Yeah, broke that boundary.
Broke that boundary. Mm-hmm. And see, that's what that was all about. And then he talked real good. I voted for him not only because he was black, you know, I wanted to win too, but it was the way he spoke, you know, and the words he said, you know.
Now, I do got a question. We're talking about presidents. Between, you know, you've been your life under the presidency of, say, John F. Kennedy versus Nixon. You know, how would you describe like the atmosphere of the United States around that time, like looking at those two?
Okay, you said JFK and
Nixon.
And Nixon. Okay, I think I was in high school or graduated from high school, because all I remember, people was crying because JFK got killed, you know. And, you know, a lot of people were sad about that, you know, like that I was around, you know, in the black neighborhoods and too, you know. And because I was still in Oklahoma at the time, and now Nixon, because Nixon, he did the Watergate, you know, and I think at first, I kind of liked him at first. And then later on when he did the Watergate stuff, you know, that was all messed up.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, looking at, I know like after the war, a lot of people, they shifted from the Democrats to the Republican, to the more the conservatives. Mm-hmm. And then they were looking at like with Jimmy Carter, with him, you know, being a Christian or anything like that. How did you feel about that whole movement where everybody pretty much transitioned to supporting Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter, I like that because that's who I went for, you know. Seemed like he wants, I mean, to me, he wants to do it more for the whole than just for one side, you know. So, I tell you, president from presidents, you know, but all of them, okay, yeah, Carter. So I think he's around 70 in the 71st part of the 70s. Yeah, somewhere like that, and I don't remember what all that was.
Now I know that like he was real heavy on religion. How did you at that time? How did you view religion and politics? Do you think they worked together, or do you think they kind of worked against each other back then in that period of time?
Back then, well, to me, it was, you know, when
All right, go ahead. You said back then when a person is religious and
yeah, yeah, but see, like they still had more religion, but you know, like right now, what I feel is religion is kind of fading. You know, it's been fading. It seems like they want to go back to the old times. You know, because there's, you know how you used to have prayer in school and stuff. You know, prayer. See, prayer done got out of everything. You know, I mean that you can't pray, but it's not used as a tool in schools and in certain places. You know,
like it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how did you feel about the United States landing on the moon in 1969?
I said, yeah. Yeah, I just charged, like I said, 1969, yeah. Was it 69?
Yeah, it says 69.
Okay, okay then. Okay, 69. But, yeah, because I was really excited about it. I said, I made it to the moon. Wonder can I ever make it there? Will I ever make it? But you know, I was happy about that.
Was everybody else feeling the same way about it?
Well, for everybody I knew, and then like on the media, and you know, they were talking. You know, people talked. You know, they said they liked that. Just a few people said that I met person, they should be giving me some of that money, you know. They're putting it in something else, you know. Because, but I feel like, you know, like if see, you land on the moon, that's gonna give you more power, some kind of power, you know, for the whole nation. And the nations need to stay on top because the other nations, like the other nations, this is one great nation. You know, we might not, as minorities and blacks, we might not get, see, we don't get what we think we should get. I don't think it's fair yet for minorities. But I bet the other countries, this is the best country. Like I said, I would rather live in the United States than to live somewhere else, even though I do feel you know, it's prejudice and stuff, yeah. You know.
I agree there. And so, how do you feel about people when they think that going to the moon is fake? That we landed on the moon, that it was fake or fabricated?
Oh.
How do you feel about those people that say that?
I don't know. You know, because, you know, like they say, I believe that we got to the moon, but people say, oh, they just fabricated that.
But then again, also too, you do have military experience, so your perspective is different. Do you think your military experience kind of shaped that perspective also, or?
Well, probably did a little, but I'm talking this is just what I feel is because it's possible. Yeah. Everything is possible. See, I feel like anything is possible. Yeah, anything is possible. It could be done, but you just have to prove it, you know.
Yeah. I got you. All right. So, one more question. How did you feel about the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.?
Oh, boy, Hey, it was tough. It was tough on me, you know, because I really sick about that. I think I feel more about that outside. Yeah, I feel more about Dr. Martin Luther King because what see, to me, he just wasn't for the black. He was for all people. I mean, that's the way I understood him. And see, like, I was in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, when Martin Luther King got killed. And they riding on the post and stuff like that. And see, I was a welder, and I built chicken wire, that steel chicken wire, that
put on fences.
No, we built steel cabs around the Jeeps because
Gotcha.
yeah, because that stuff's gonna have to go somewhere doing a ride, down in what's called we get killed in Memphis. No, where did he get killed? As well as I know that. Well, anyway, they told us that they come up. I don't know what happened to the Jeeps. I think they sent them out or something. But we built Jeeps. I think we built about 25 Jeeps with the cab on. Mm-hmm.
And so, what was it like living here then? What was it, like how was the cities? How was the mood of the country? Like, how was it?
It was turned upside down, for a while, I guess, because, like I said, when they had, when he got killed, I was in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and I think it's about 2 weeks before we could even leave the post for anything, because we didn't have no activities or nothing, but things special things, like building the Jeeps. Mm-hmm.
And different things like that. Now, after you left the post, the first time you left the post, after that, what kind of things did you see? How was people treating each other?
I think it had kind of, okay, after that, I know they shut the post down, we went on about the regular business, it's kind of post got, it left it all. And, people still talking about it, but it wasn't hyped up like the riot, all that. And because when they had one here in Kansas City, see, that's where I was. I didn't see this in Kansas City, But it was really something. I should have hated to see him get killed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that say they thought that the government had something to do with it. Do you think?
I feel like it's somebody else behind, like government or some. It had to do with politics, I would say, somewhere like that.
Now, also too, did you? Speaking of politics, you know how for a long time there was like a fear of communism invading the United States. What was your experience? What do you think about that?
Now that's why I went. That's why. Well, when I went to Vietnam, that's what they was telling us. We don't want the communists to take over. Communists take over. And said if they take over Vietnam, they'll march and take over some other small country, and they'll have their control all over, you know.
Do you think that was true?
Not about Vietnam, I don't think it was. I think it was just a politic thing and a money-making thing. Because it seemed like, I think during the Vietnam War, I think more millionaires become billionaires any time in history. Because, you know, like, you don't know what's real and you don't know what's not. Because you're not up there making, well, you don't, you know, the general public don't know enough about government to, you know, realize what's happening. That's just like the draft judges, you know, the kids at these colleges and universities. See, they knew what they were talking about, but I didn't, you know. But see, I didn't.
But the average person who ended up getting drafted, since they weren't old enough to vote, they didn't know anything about it because they weren't in college, most of them.
Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of, I don't know how many volunteered to go to Vietnam. Listen to kids. They gonna kick some bomb, you know. They gonna take care of business. But they didn't know no better either, you know. Because some of them in Vietnam, the plane I went over on, it had 47 kids on it under 18.
Man.
They volunteered to go there. And so they were so disappointed because they couldn't stay there. So they said, I'll send you to Thailand, and when your birthday come, I'll come and get you.
Man, I never knew that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but see, I'm 23. I knew
You old man.
a lot more than they did. Yeah. You know, in that sense, you know. But, because, you know, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. Because I guess, for one reason, I had got used to different kind of life outside of high school, you know, school days. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Granddaddy, for sharing with us. Now I gotta go run. I gotta go hop on the dozer and get to work.
Oh, you gotta go to work?
I gotta go to work. I gotta be at work in like 30 minutes, so
man.
I'll make that run. I better hurry up.
You better hurry up and get it.